Devin Haney is suing Ryan Garcia for battery, fraud, and more. Not just those two. This is a big lawsuit. Bryan, your thoughts on this? And obviously, this all stems from Ryan Garcia taking PEDs, what happened in their fight. This is something that you actually said when we were talking off air when the news broke out about Ryan Garcia. One of the first things Bryan had texted me was, yo, he could sue Devin Haney. I
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't
think it
think
would happen.
me
I don't
neither.
think you did either, but it's happening. So your thoughts, Bryan, on this?
Yeah. Listen, there's a lot here, but first let's get into like a couple quotes that I just pulled from the lawsuit that ESPN may or may not have helped with. But this is important to know as it pertains to the actual lawsuit and what Ryan Garcia is being sued by Devin Haney for. I don't remember the last time a boxer sued another boxer for this specific thing. Maybe it's never happened, but I can't remember. While Devin Haney agreed to participate in a prize fight against Garcia, quote states, at no time did he engage in a bout against an individual who had taken a performance enhancing drug, the lawsuit states. And then Haney would have never fought a boxer who was positive for a PED, even though Bill Haney was saying beforehand, like they were talking spicy before this fight, talking about like they're going to kill Ryan Garcia, whatever. I've seen a couple people brought up like, hey, could Ryan Garcia be presented with a counter suing opportunity here? I'm not, I don't have a law degree. You know what I mean? I've seen suits, but I don't have a law degree to tell you like how this definitively would work. Ryan Garcia respond, I'm being sued for doing my job. This fight has been a Netflix documentary, but this right here is the finale. Your Honor, he simply struggles with left hook syndrome, which was mildly funny. There's something to be said for that, which we'll get into. So I don't think that well, I don't know actually if Devin Haney's gonna win this lawsuit because I mean anything's possible as it pertains to Ryan Garcia. But I do think that this is going to be looked down upon in boxing. I see his case because I thought he could sue him because of what happened, right? Like you fought somebody who you seemingly didn't know was using performance enhancing drugs, or at least that's what he's maintaining. Like he had no idea, even though, if I recall, they went ahead with the fight, although that was actually weight. That was not performance enhancing drugs. Like he went ahead with the fight, even though Ryan Garcia showed up overweight. So I thought he could sue because it's like, all right, somebody shows up with steroids in their system and then they do that to you. Like boxers can't do this. They don't always do it and they typically don't. But there's a real legal case here. I didn't think he would do it. And also like there are elements of this where he's suing him for like I believe mental distress and things of that nature where it's taking it to another level where people are like, all right, bro, come on. Even though like he's trying to win a lawsuit. So like this makes sense. But even though Devin Haney's in his right to do this, he kind of also looks like a sucker because of how he's going about it. Along with the fact that a lot of people don't like him anyway. Like whenever he returns to the ring, people are going to boo the shit out of him, regardless of who it's against. And he's just going to be one of these dudes who has been trying to be like Floyd Mayweather. And now this happens, and this is how he handles it. And the other thing that rubbed people the wrong way was he really celebrated after his O was put back on his record. Like really
The
talked a lot
dancing?
of shit.
Yo, he was
Yeah.
dancing on Instagram.
Yeah, so like it's this is a super gray area thing. I don't think this is black and white. Like I think Devin Haney could be within his right to do it, and you could also look at him like a sucker for actually doing it because of the way he's doing it. If that makes sense.
So I think that's the biggest thing. I think he's just rubbed people the wrong way. First, when the way that he lost. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't matter that Ryan Garcia took PEDs and that there was a substance found in his body that he said it was a tainted supplement. Doesn't matter how much was in his body, even though I said that there was like a very, very tiny amount. But it's the way that Devin lost.
Yeah.
It's always going to be in my mind. That's always going to be in my mind. Like the broken jaw at the end, the way that Ryan dominated that fight. right? And that week leading up to it, when you're hearing all these interviews coming out, like Devin Haney sat down with Andre Ward. And Devin's like, yeah, I was like sleeping and getting my rest during the week. And, all I heard was Ryan was just partying with girls all the time. And like, you know what I mean? Then like, this is what Devin was saying in an interview. So to also know that Ryan wasn't even like 100% focused. Like during the weigh-in, he came in, slammed a beer, stepped on the scale, came out, 3 pounds overweight for the fight. And that was the first thing. But going back to what happened, like it's always going to be in my mind how Devin lost. And then the PEDs thing comes out and he's celebrating knowing that he's still undefeated. We saw what happened. Like, I don't think a lot of people care at the end of the day about the PEDs in terms of how we saw Devin lose, right? In terms of the entire lawsuit, it's boxing. Like, you're suing him for battery. I get it, the PEDs. Don't get it twisted, I get it. But it's super lame. Like, I thought this was boxing. I don't remember the last time this happened or if it's ever happened. Like, I'm trying to think if I can actually remember that. I think it's super lame. And it also just creates more of a villain aspect for Devin because he doesn't look cool. Like, what's the one thing, like, growing up as a kid? You want to like all the cool boxers. You know what I mean? Like, you want to like Mike Tyson. Like, you want to like all these like cool boxers. And like, he kind of has like a lame aura around him after dancing, for getting his O back. And then now suing Ryan for battery. And the mental aspect, I will actually give that to him because when you think about the fact how he lost, we don't know what type of repercussions he'll be dealing with later on in terms of his body because he got knocked out like that. He got dropped many times in that fight, but just trying to get through that, everything you heard on social media, like mentally, we don't actually know what Devin Haney was going through. And even though I'm saying like it's lame that he's suing someone, I've always said this, like, I don't buy Devin Haney being like mean and rude. He just seems like a nice kid to me that's trying to sell a fight. He just comes off as like a good kid, right?
Yeah.
And it's,
Like
like
you're
that's
saying he's a poser, basically. Like he's trying to be
yeah.
something
And
he's not.
the poser is such a like high school term that you're such a poser, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
I like not even that. Like I think Devin comes off as just like a nice kid, like a nice person. I'm sure like when he meets fans and stuff, he's super chill and nice, but he has to take a role into being a boxer and selling a fight. And I think that's what he does. And he's taking that villain route, just like now people are gonna just want to watch him so they can see him lose or see him get knocked out again because I
Yeah.
think he's rubbed people the wrong way. It's kind of like how a lot of people, not myself because I've always been a Mayweather fan, but a lot of people hated Mayweather. Like people just didn't like him at one point in his career when he was Money May, and a lot of people rooted against him. And I
Yeah.
think Devin has kind of taken that role, but like in a lame route. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different.
He's tried to take the cool like Mayweather route,
This
just
is too lame now.
doing
It's
too
just,
much, and
yeah.
his dad also doesn't do him any fucking favors, Bill Haney.
Well. Here's the thing. I don't even think they care. And what his dad was saying was, well, Devin's like taking a stand against PEDs, and this is going to change things, and he's going to, I don't think so. I
I
think
mean,
people are still going to take PEDs. I mean, people might think, oh, you know what, I could get sued for this, or I don't think a lot of people may go to this extent, dude. Like I really don't.
I
So
just
I don't think the Haneys really care about what people are saying about them.
no, but I also think this is just almost entirely the way they're going about it because like Ryan Garcia, I mean, what he did was still fucked up, right? Now, granted, the actual fight we can pick apart, like, Devin Haney should have just been more ready for that left hook that he kept getting hit with over and over and over again. We can extrapolate on that. But like with Devin Haney in particular, or with Ryan Garcia in particular, rather, like he used PEDs. He showed up overweight. He was saying wild, like, I'm not going to come here and defend Ryan Garcia. He was saying wild shit leading up to the fight and wild shit after. Racist shit also, right? Like, he was saying, like, a lot of anti this group and anti this group, like, just wilding out on social media on top of all of this, which that has nothing to do with the lawsuit necessarily, but, like, I'm not gonna paint him as some sort of like victim here. He did what he did. With Devin Haney, he's in his right to sue, but it's entirely the way he's gone about it and entirely the way he's acted since this whole thing went down where he lost. He was now he talked about mental distress in a lawsuit, or it's mental distress is referred to in a lawsuit. It's like that was tied to the fight. Why? Is it because of the loss and people making fun of you online? Or was it just because you lost your O? Because he was so excited when the undefeated record was restored. Like the way he was posting on his story, he posted the photo of his record with the O back. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, again, like he does have his O back because legally he should, because Ryan Garcia used PEDs. The fight has to be ruled a no contest, whatever, whatever. But we also all saw what happened. This wasn't one of those fights where it was very close and there was a knockdown, and it was a closer fight than people remember. But you get what I'm saying. Like this looked like a wipeout because he got knocked down multiple times. I think 3 times in this fight, whatever. But yeah, so I think there's a bunch here. There's a lot here. It's super gray. I just think that Devin Haney, again, in his right to do this, but I hate the way he's gone about it completely. And
Yeah.
I think Jay, and we'll get to some comments here, and please leave comments on this
Yeah,
because
please.
this is not an easy one to sort of like you need like some time to actually go through the lawsuit and whatever. And
Which is pretty, like, I tried to read it, and it's there's a lot in there. And I saw a lot of people saying on Twitter that it might get thrown out. I don't know.
It's possible, but I don't look. I'm not a lawyer. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, so I'm not gonna pretend um that I know how this is gonna go. But Jay leaves a comment. I'm gonna get to Hustle Man next. Ryan is a cheater, but Haney is with. You mean Haney is a snake? Haney might also be a cheater too. I mean, look, this is probably a double negative situation too, where maybe both of these guys are probably just in over their heads, so to speak. Hustle Man. All I'm gonna say is if you're from the Bay and say you're this and that we go and get back, not taking it to court. 1.5 for Ryan missing weight and got his O back. Haney's from Vegas now. He can't claim the Bay.
Yeah, you got to be cut from a different cloth to claim the Bay, and Hades from the East Bay. So, that's a little bit different. Stick with Hustleman though, because he's got another funny one.
All right, you're gonna have to explain this one to me.
Oh no, I don't. Yeah, Hustleman. I don't explain that to us, but this one's kind of funny.
Yeah,
Haney's really 30-2. First loss was to Loma, if we're being honest. Very close fight. I always said I thought Haney got it done,
yeah. I don't think he
but
lost a Loma fight. A
there's
lot of
there.
people did though. A lot
I'm
of
gonna
people
go
did.
back and watch it. I've only seen it like 2 times. Okay, so he tries to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Snack.
kind of get
We
it.
should probably say this for the audio audience, but what they're referring to is snack program. Is that what you're trying to say, or is it program?
I think
I'm so out
program.
of the loop on what the fuck is going on. He worked with Victor Conte though. That I understand. Also, another element of this, Ryan Garcia banned from Undisputed. Now they're removing him from the game.
So I thought that was lame, and that was the first thing that I said to Brian when he sent it to me. And you said that you kind of see why because of the PED thing. I think it's still lame because like I still don't love the roster on Undisputed. I don't love the roster. And you know
Wait,
me,
can I?
Brian, you know my favorite type of fighters, right?
Yeah.
I like Mexican boxers from Cali, and there's not a lot of them in this game.
Let me just read the post. Undisputed. This is from their Discord. It looks like, but as part of the full launch update on Undisputed, which is the forthcoming boxing game that's going to be released next week, that I still need to pre-order.
Oh, you didn't go
Um,
pre-order? I thought you were gonna go get it
because I'm trying to
yesterday.
find the hard copy, and
Yeah.
like it looks like digitals are the only thing available, and it's like, bro, like I still like hard
Unless you want
copy
the
games.
Canelo one. Unless you want the Canelo one.
No,
But
I want the
the
deluxe.
Tyson Fury
It's
one,
funny
yeah.
because they removed people made the connection. Oh, they're removing Ryan Garcia from the game, but yet Tyson Fury is on the cover and he said some things, yada yada yada. Um, yeah. So Ryan Garcia's character will no longer be playable in local online and prize fight game modes, and players won't be able to create new career mode saves with the character. Existing career mode saves using Ryan Garcia's character will be removed in the game's December 2024 update, giving players time to complete already created saved games. It's a clunky way to write that last sentence, but I get the point. Um, I wonder if that means if you're using Ryan Garcia, like using him as a main character, or if he's in your career mode at all. Like if you're in the weight class, that they would also boot that out of there because the latter would suck. If it's the former, then whatever.
Yeah.
A little interesting. I also don't like. I'll say this. I don't know if this is like a contractual thing that he sort of breached, which is entirely possible because it's Ryan Garcia.
Was that in the video game contract? If you do PEDs, you're out the game. Like,
Yeah, like
you know what I mean? Or is it also because of the controversy surrounding Ryan and everything that's going on outside of boxing? Like, I feel like everything with Ryan has been so chaotic for months. The things on social media and stuff like that. But I don't think they should take him out the video game just for that aspect. I mean, there's a lot of people that do PEDs that are probably are everywhere. You know what I mean? Like
I
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people doing PEDs that we don't even know about athletes.
I think there's something here that we don't know. Um because like games don't typically do this unless it's serious. And I don't know if it's tied to PEDs or something else, but like, if it's PEDs, and I mean, why do this now? Why not do this like
Mm,
after this was announced? I don't know, but you got 2 months to play as or against Ryan Garcia, and then he's going to be out the game. They're
yeah.
supposedly going to add other boxers, not related to this, but they're supposedly going to add other people like as the game is out, whatever. We'll see. They need some Puerto Ricans in the game. That's all I'm going to say.
They need a better roster.
Yeah.
Before we leave this topic, Brian, do you have any final thoughts about the whole Devin Haney suing Ryan Garcia before we move away from there and get to some more comments?
No, not really.